Anyway, thanks for your interest, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions or tell you about what we're up to.
Sure. Well, this is an interesting. Well, it shouldn't be interesting because not interesting. I shouldn't say it shouldn't be a surprise because there's really a technological revolution going on in Israel right now. They're really expanding their boundaries on their industries. So it's no surprise that they would partner with another university for technical advancements or technical techniques that they could use. How did they match up with U of A?
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a long story, and I'll try to be brief to point as much as possible. But I've been at the university a number of years, and I, a long time ago, helped to form what was called the International Arid Lands Consortium, which was an effort between the University of Arizona, the Jewish National Fund, and a number of other institutions in Egypt, Jordan, and so on around arid lands, agriculture, and new technology, and so on. And got very involved in going to Israel and working in Israel, and became very passionate about what Israel was doing, particularly in advancing new technology. And as the university's vice president in charge of research parks, I saw the opportunity to maybe broaden the connection to Israel around technology innovation and commercialization. So a number of years ago, we started reaching out to potential partners in Israel, talking about how the university and our tech park could connect to this whole effort around the startup nation. And over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, we've developed a very strong and active program called Global Advantage, where we're trying to attract fast growth technology companies into southern Arizona and particularly into the tech park. And we're doing it around 6 technology sectors, and those sectors align very closely with the research and technology sectors of Israel. It's arid lands, agriculture and water, it's advanced energy and solar energy development, it's defense security technology, it's smart vehicles and intelligent transportation systems, medical devices and diagnostics, and sustainable mining. Those are our 6 areas of focus, and 5 of those are, Israel is among the leaders in the world in bringing that kind of new technology to the marketplace. So as we began to really think about how we could attract these kinds of fast growth technology companies in these areas, we decided to do a concentrated outreach effort to Israel and see if we could offer the UA Tech Park in Tucson as a location for Israeli companies looking to enter the U.S. market. Traditionally, those companies go to the Bay Area or to San Diego, to Chicago, New York, East Coast cities. But we thought there was an opportunity for those companies to enter the U.S. market and the North American market through Tucson in our park. So for the last 4 years, we have built up a series of partnerships in Israel with the Israeli government, with the Israel-American Chamber of Commerce, Israel Advanced Technology Industry Association, the incubators in Israel, and several of the universities in an effort to build a network up that would allow us to then identify and recruit these kinds of companies. And as we got into it, it became obvious, too, there was an opportunity not only to be attracting companies, but be involved in the whole process of new technology development. And so through our contacts, we started working with Gurion University in the Negev, and also then with the Autonomous University in Mexico, because we have a similar effort in Mexico to attract Mexican technology companies. And that was the basis for then putting the 3 universities together, their research parks, in this effort. So I told you it was going to be a long story. I apologize.
Not at all. Now, I know a lot of these technology parks, they work in helping to develop technology, and there's a certain patent fee that the university would get. Is that what is happening here? Or is it mostly economic development, and they're renting space from the park? How does that work? How does it contribute financially to the tech park and to U of A?
Well, let me flip it over and talk to you about Gurion. So Gurion University has gone from being a sort of modest regional university to being a national university, and in part because the Israeli government is moving the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF, headquarters to Beersheba, and focusing a lot of the effort in Beersheba and with Gurion University around issues like cybersecurity and security technology. So, Ben Gurion University has helped to start with the city of Beersheba and a private developer a new advanced technology park, which is immediately adjacent to the campus, and then that's a place for companies to come in and associate with the research being done at the university, as well as the kind of focus that the IDF has. So they have this big initiative, and they've got 30 or 40 or 50 companies now in that research park, and they potentially are the kinds of companies that we would try to attract into the U.S. if they want to establish a U.S. presence. In our case, our research park is sort of a similar kind of thing. We're all about trying to advance innovation and new technology, and we've created a place where industry, university, and community could come together in this whole area of technology development. So we are a home to university enterprises as well as technology companies that are bringing new technology to the marketplace. And we create the infrastructure and the programs and the expertise and the amenities to support that kind of technology development. So it was natural to connect the two universities and the two parks together in this common purpose.
But going back to the question, is your housing or bringing in these companies from Israel either to scout out the area or to continue development, how does the financial arrangement work? So
we have a program called Global Advantage where we let them pay a fee and they can come in and do their due diligence and see if it makes sense for them to come into the region and into Tucson and the park. And then after that period of development, due diligence and development, they could lease space from us here at the tech park, or they could go out into the broader community and establish their business presence here in Tucson. So the initial process is a fee for service, and then ultimately we would hope that they would become a full paying tenant here at the tech park.
And if they're there developing products using technology from UA or experts from UA, would the university also get some of those patent percentage of the patent licenses or patent fees?
We do we could through royalties, which is the primary way in which the university shares its technology with for-profit companies. So yes, we could license technology to the Israeli company, and they would pay royalties for it. The more likely outcome, though, is that the company will be coming in here to demonstrate technology it already has to the U.S. and North American market. And what we do is we provide testing and demonstration facilities for the technology. We help them to network with their customers. We help them establish joint ventures with American companies. There are a whole variety of things that we can help them with that they can take advantage of, not the least of which is that they can find talented employees for their companies through U of A graduates.
So it sounds like the main gain you're expecting to see is from the economic development side and helping Tucson and U of A being able to, as you said, hire students or lease space at the park, or even go out into Tucson or other parts of Arizona and build their company there.
Yeah, so I mean, leasing space at the park is sort of the secondary concern. Our primary focus is we want to make sure new technology gets out in the marketplace. We want to make sure that we create high-wage job opportunities for our graduates. And we're also, as a state public university, looking to help grow not only the regional but the state economy. So those are our primary goals. And the fact that we can provide high-quality space at the park is one of the factors we provide them. But it's not primarily a real estate play. We're more about the business development assistance that we're providing to these companies.
Okay. And so you would also help them navigate through some of the various U.S. maybe patent laws or zoning laws, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Whether if they need to protect their intellectual property, what kind of legal entity do they need to establish in the United States? Do they enter into a joint venture, or they form a a limited liability corporation or a U.S. subsidiary or whatever. A lot of work in the whole area, primarily in the testing and demonstration of their product to the marketplace, finding customers, marketing. So it's a hands-on, full-service program of assistance, and we customize the program for each company because companies have different needs and different requirements. And of course, we do this, as I said, to address those three goals that I talked about.
So in doing this, are you bringing some of the other colleges online? For example, if they are having questions about intellectual property, would the law school there become involved? If they're having questions about various agricultural needs or something like that, I know you're a state school. Sorry, I forget what it was called. I used to work for one of them, an ag school. Is there help from that end as well? So, does it benefit the other colleges?
Yep. Well, yeah. So, to your point, we are the land grant university for the state, and economic development is part of our mission. Yeah. So, one of the things we do with a company, and these are not just international companies; they're also domestic companies that we're trying to recruit into Southern Arizona and to Tucson. Is that if they have a reason to want to do collaborative research with one of our departments or colleges, we make those introductions and help facilitate that. If they want student interns as a way of starting to find employees, we help them set up their intern programs. They may want to take advantage of using specialized equipment, which they can rent on campus, main campus. I mean, there are a variety of different ways that they would connect to the university, and our job is to make those introductions and facilitate that kind of interaction. Okay. So we work with all across campus. I mean, we're working with engineering and optical sciences and ag and science and medicine and so on, business and management. It really depends on what the specific needs of the company are. For example, one of the things that the companies use a lot are student interns through social and behavioral sciences to do market analysis for the company. So we'll help set up an internship, and we have an intern coordinator and an intern program here at the Tech Park to help with that.
So sounds like a win-win. And how does the university from New Mexico? Sorry, I work for NMSU. How does the university from Mexico fit into this as well?
Well, first of all, Mexico as a country has made a concerted effort over the last 10 years to try to start building a tech sector. They recognize that we live in a knowledge-based economy, and if they're going to diversify their economy, they need to be growing technology companies. Mexico is doing a really great job of training and educating engineers and scientists on a per capita basis. They're outperforming the U.S. in that regard. So they have a very talented workforce that's attractive to companies that are looking to develop new technology. And of course, as they develop those companies and spin them out of their university or their research institutions, ultimately those companies are going to want to come into the U.S. market since it's the biggest in the world. So, I mean, they see the value in having a partner with the U of A and the Tech Park, providing a point of market entry for those companies. But more broadly, the universities are working together on all these advanced technology areas. They are doing research in many of the same areas that we are and Ben Gurion are. And so the purpose of this trilateral agreement is to do collaborative work in applied research that's likely to lead to commercial products, and then help move those products and either to license them into an existing company or into a startup company, and then help that company through the business development process. So they're in this for the same reason that Ben Gurion and the U of A are.
So obviously, there are lots of reasons for Ben Gurion to partner with you, but does actually being in Arizona and our climate and our lifestyle here, does that also come into play?
It does. So I mean, and this is the same thing we have Tucson, particularly with Mexico. I mean, we are so tied to Mexico in terms of our economy. Almost 40% of people living in Tucson are Hispanic. There's 25 of the people in Tucson have family ties in Mexico. So there's this natural relationship and shared culture and history and topography and climate and so on between our friends in northern and western Mexico. But you have the same thing happening in Israel. I mean, we're very similar in terms of climate and topography and all those kinds of things. The other part of it is that there is a very large and active Jewish community in Tucson, and so there are very, very strong ties between Israel and Tucson. We actually first got started in this effort in partnership with the America-Israel Friendship League here in Tucson, and we've gotten great support from the Tucson Jewish Federation and so on. The fact that an Israeli company, if they have to bring people from Israel to Tucson to run the company, can have a community to get connected to and get support. There's a Hebrew academy and there's just all kinds of support programs. So that's a really important part of what we're connecting to. So we have a very strong Judaic Studies program at U of A. Our College of Agriculture has been working on agriculture and water issues for 40 or 50 years in Israel. So the ties are strong. There are strong personal relationships and connections. As an example, the vice president for research at Gurion University is a graduate of ASU.
Oh.
He earned one of his advanced degrees from ASU.
Good thing he didn't go to SkySong, huh?
Well, he's been there. That he understands that there's a strong connection in the key research and technology areas between U of A and Ben Gurion. So he's been very, very supportive of what we're doing.
So again, to go back, if they do bring Israeli executives or Israeli workers, the climate definitely would probably be something more familiar, so it wouldn't be such a culture shock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But I think probably more than the climate is the fact that they can come into a community that is warm and receptive. And, for every time we bring one of these companies in, we pull together a meeting with the leadership of the Jewish community and introduce those folks to the company executives and so on, in addition to the broader community leadership. But certainly that really helps.
Okay. Well, I think I have what I need. It's very interesting. And it's just, like I said, I see a lot of the investment that's going into Israel from U.S. companies, either buying out companies from there or investing in companies there, and also the development in various fields, medical, intellectual properties, high-tech security that is coming out of Israel. So that's a huge benefit for everyone.
It is, and I will just tell you that, I think our program speaks to the evolution of Israel and its role with startup companies and new technology, because a lot of what's happened up till now is venture funds and American companies like IBM and Intuit and purchasing Israeli startup companies. But now what's happened is you have a number of companies in Israel that have gone beyond startup, what we call them growth companies, which is really our focus. And these are companies that want to stay with their headquarters in Israel, but they want to enter the North American market. And we're really fixed on trying to help them. This is a priority of the Israeli government, is to retain their companies, but to give them market access. So that's really why our program has gotten some attention, some traction, because it's speaking to the next generation of Israeli technology companies.
Okay, is there anything else you would like to add?
Jess, anything you have to suggest?
Pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, well, again, we thanks for your interest. Any way that we could get a copy of your story?
Oh, sure, absolutely. It will also be online.
Okay.
I was hoping to run it for our October 13th issue, but we filled up. So as soon as I can find when we can fit it in, I will put it in. I know we've been trying to. At the very least, it'll go online. So, because we're a once a week publication. And so I'll let you all know when we do that.
Yeah, just I did one other thing. There's a follow-up to the agreement in our meetings in Israel, is that in March we're going to, all three partners meet in Mexico City to continue to push this initiative forward. And then next fall in Tucson we'll have a capstone event with all three partners, and we may be bringing companies from Israel, Mexico, and Tucson together as part of that process. So this is more than just words on paper. It's a real program of work.
Yeah. Sounds good. I also freelance for a business newspaper here in Phoenix, so I might pitch this story to them too.
That would be great.
All right. And
Thank you.
if y'all think of anything else, you know how to reach me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.